Do you even science, bro? This is Simon, and we're starting a new channel. Yeah, straight up. We're starting a new channel here on YouTube, and same as the Facebook channel and the Instagram channel, the MeWe channel. Well, the Instagram channel was removed as well as my profile, so scratch that one off the list. So just like on MeWe and Facebook. This group is mainly about this channel is same thing as my group about science. A lot of people get really upset when they find out science is not what they thought it was, and they figure out they're actually part of pseudoscience. Okay, so anyhow, here we go. We're starting off, and this channel's gonna be mainly about science. We're not really gonna mess around with troll. I don't have to mess around with troll. You guys want to troll in the comment section? I can make fun of you guys there. But so here we go, and this is gonna be strictly about science. We're gonna look at the science news daily, and we'll go ahead and monitor what they're saying, and we'll get different opinions of what we're watching. So right off the top we have BBC News, and so let's take a listen to what this BBC person has to say, because we already know BBC's mainstream media. So right off the top, before we even get started, it's mainstream media. Oh, and
Google Fi.
We could forget. Soon I'll be getting rid of all these ads.
Of how the universe works, but the current ideas aren't able to.
Now, an international team of scientists working on a project in the United States say that they have discovered strong evidence for the existence of a new force of nature. They say that some subatomic particles, called muons, don't behave in a way predicted by current theories of
muons and how they behave. They've never seen muons before. They're virtual, and even if they were physically a thing, they would be smaller than the wavelengths of light. From my understanding, you can't take a picture of these things. It's ridiculous. And for you to say right off the bat, talking about behavior, they're talking about an imaginary virtual particle and its behavior.
Physics. The British funders of the research say that scientists are on the precipice of a new era of physics.
British funders.
Our science correspondent, Palab Ghosh, has the story.
The theories of modern physics have given scientists a new understanding of how the universe works. But the current ideas aren't able to solve some of the biggest scientific puzzles, such as how the universe as we know it came into existence. Now, scientists at...
Uh-oh. Did they just say something that just hurt the Big Bang? So the Big Bang happened, but they don't know how it happened or why it happened? This is really funny, guys. Let's keep going. And again, British funders. We all know the British. Is it the British that are the double crossers? I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're the double crossers, aren't they? If they have the two crosses on their flag or something like that. I don't know. Something in my head's ringing about the double crossers. Like, they're not supposed to trust them.
Fermi Lab, a particle accelerator just outside Chicago, have got a result that might take us a big step forward in answering those questions. They've been accelerating particles inside this giant ring.
Come on. They're physically showing you they're going around in circles. If you guys don't understand, if you're going around in circles, okay, then that's insanity. This is totally insane. And you already know, they already said they got British funders funding this. And oh my God, this is hilarious.
To the speed of light. And they found that they might be behaving in a way that can't be explained by the current theory of physics at the subatomic level.
Look at this
We
cartoon
found
shit.
that the interaction of a muon, which is a heavy electron with a magnetic field, is not in agreement with our current best theory of physics. And clearly that's very exciting because it potentially points to a future, new laws, new particles and new forces in physics which we haven't seen to date.
You've heard of electrons. Well, there are similar particles called muons, which are much heavier and spin like tops. In the experiment, they were made to wobble using magnets.
Oh,
The
God.
current theory suggests they should wobble at a certain rate. Instead, they wobbled faster. This might be caused by a mystery
I'm so
force.
sorry, this is hilarious.
Turn is created by
It's
another
wobbling,
yet
yo.
to be discovered particle. Scientists believe that there are four fundamental forces of nature. One for gravity, another for electricity, and two nuclear forces,
Whoa, look at
which
those
control
spheres,
the behavior of
those
atoms.
globes.
Together, they explain the way the world works. But in recent years, astronomers began noticing things in space that can't be explained by the four forces, such as galaxies spinning faster than they should.
Gravity's
They
failing,
can't
guys.
explain why the stars and planets.
Okay, so right there, let me stop and let me explain that. Okay, you have the microcosm. That's like everything that you could see in the microscope, you know? It's real pretty simple. It's like the really, really small stuff that is below us. We could touch it, feel it. I could grab a stack of Petri dishes and smash them, okay? Then you have the mesocosm or the mesocosm, which actually is us. It's in between the micro and the macro. Then you have the macrocosm. The macrocosm is when we look up into the sky. Is basically all that sky stuff. You know, all the lights and the celestial lights at night, or you know, the heavenly bodies and whatnot. You guys could call them what you want. You could call them planets. We could sit here and call them different names. You could call them Mickey Mouse and Pluto or whatever. So supposedly gravity explained everything on the macrocosm, and that's one of the reasons why we're able to slam gravity here on the meso, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't apply to especially to the microcosm. So this is funny. They're literally saying what they're saying right now, that gravity cannot explain what's out in the macrocosm. That's what they're saying. And they keep saying about the four fundamental forces. There's not four fundamental forces. Again, they're lying about that because gravity is not a force. Yeah. That's a Newtonian concept of gravity. And gravity had moved on supposedly to Einsteinian type of gravity, where it's curved space-time. Not a force. This is hilarious. So right away, like this right here is proof of how they babble, and none of this is possibly science at all. This is all theory. They said it from the very beginning. He also said it was a story. So this is a nice story, and we'll just continue with it. But just to clarify, between the macro, the micro, and the meso, all three are different realms, pretty much. If you want to babble and try to say different words, or I'll use the word realm, which you can't discount that word as a description of the differences between those three different states of existence. Okay, so we'll continue.
Planets and everything on them, including us, exist at all. The new results suggest there might be a fifth force which could explain some of these mysteries.
I think it's quite mind-boggling, and they have the potential to turn physics on its head. We have a number of mysteries that remain unsolved, and this could give us the key answers to solve those mysteries.
Evidence for the fifth force has been growing. Just 2 weeks ago, researchers at the Large Hadron Collider just outside Geneva had a similar result.
The race is really on now to try and get one of these experiments to really get the proof that this really is something new. They will take more data.
Another thing right there. Let me point out, they're trying to prove a proof. See what I'm saying? What they're trying to do is they're looking for a way to prove something. That's not how science works. That is not how science. You don't want to find specific results. You just do it to see what happens. You do this experiment. After you make the hypothesis, see what happens, and then you work up on that. You improve on that. So that doesn't make sense. What they're talking about is like, It has to be this way. It has to be this way. Soon we'll find evidence that it does work like this, even though all these other are failures, and they're continuously failing over and over. They keep saying mysteries that are not solved. They keep saying they don't have the answers. They don't have the answers. And they're looking for the answers that fit their agenda. Straight up. Here we go.
And make more measurements and hopefully show evidence that these effects are real.
These very early results aren't definitive yet, but they are generating a lot of excitement about the prospect of a giant leap forward in our understanding of the universe.
Not definitive.
Palab Ghosh, BBC News.
Basically, it was a waste of fucking time. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We'll do at least like 3 of them. Scientists made a stunning new discovery about the immune system. Oh, interesting. Again, I will get rid of those ads by the next video that I upload here.
Body, the less we really seem to know. What am I talking about? Think scientists have anatomy and physiology all figured out? Think again.
Oh, there's a globe.
Hi everyone, Crystal here for D News, talking about how the more scientists learn about the body, the less we really seem to know. What am I talking about? A recent discovery by scientists at the University of Virginia revealed a connection between the central nervous system and the immune system that had gone unnoticed for centuries. This discovery challenges current theories about basic brain-body interactions and could throw our current ideas on the development of some neurological diseases completely out the window. After learning about this discovery, one scientist was quoted as saying, "Well, they'll have to rewrite the textbooks." I find results like these so exciting because they demonstrate the pursuit of new knowledge is a dynamic process. In the journal Nature, the scientists from UVA's School of Medicine reported the existence of previously unknown vasculature carrying immune cells between the meninges, the protective tissue around the brain, and the cervical lymph nodes that are the hubs of our immune system. This discovery was made the same way a lot of big scientific discoveries are made, by accident.
Okay, so they accidentally discovered that the human body is interconnected. I wonder how much money went into the study. like, whoa, wait a minute. So you're saying that parts of the inside of a human's body are connected to other parts of the human's inside body? Like, oh wow, this is what a discovery.
A scientist developing a new way to prepare slides of intact mouse meningeal tissue noticed an unexpected pattern of immune cells in the tissue under his microscope. And because he's a scientist, he just had to know why. In science, unexpected results can mean big discoveries, and this was no exception. In addition to draining interstitial fluids, classic lymphatic vessels carry the white blood cells of the immune system throughout the body. Prior to the discovery of these new vessels, no direct link between the brain and spinal cord and the immune system had been found, and it was thought that the brain was an area of mild immune...
Oh God, this is getting stupider. Literally getting stupider by the second. So they are literally, oh my God. Did they actually say that? Let's go back.
No direct link between the brain and spinal cord and the immune system had been found. And
so they literally thought that the human immune system had no brain. Who would have believed that crap? Why would even anyone say that? This is dumb. Like literally this presentation that they're doing. Oh my God, this is really funny. Let's keep watching. And look at that stupid glow behind her.
It was thought that the brain was an area of mild immune privilege, meaning able to tolerate insult or disease exposure without eliciting a rush of inflammation to the affected region. This assumption left scientists in the dark about the mechanisms behind many neurological diseases that involve altered immunity. But now that this connection has been discovered, there is already speculation about whether impaired drainage or malfunction of these newly discovered vessels could contribute to the buildup of plaques in Alzheimer's disease, and scientists have a new place to look when investigating the immune attacks experienced by patients with multiple sclerosis. The discovery of direct interaction between the CNS and the immune system changes how we think about the brain's response to injury and the development of disease. Obviously more...
I mean, what a coincidence. Right now, right after this whole vaccination And let's we already talked about. I've already talked about that on the Facebook channel, and the MeWe channels, groups. I mean, and we already know mRNA technology is not relative to traditional vaccines at all in any way or form. They're not the same. It's totally different. It's totally different. And it has everything to do with how the immune system, how to override your DNA. And this is big. So now all of a sudden, they're using this. They're going to use this as a way to mess with the human immune system. Like, they are literally going to they are trying to hack the human immune system, is what they're saying. And it's funny that they're using cartoons and totally stupid concepts. Like, this was totally dumb to sit there and to even try to get others to assume that there was such an assumption. I would have never assumed that my human immune system is not tied to my brain. Holy God. That's stupid, guys. Come on. This is funny.
More research is needed, and these groundbreaking results are nonetheless preliminary. But this exciting discovery will lead to further investigation into the vascular structure surrounding the human brain, and hopefully a more detailed understanding of human health and physiology. On the topic of new discoveries, some scientists are finding that young blood might have rejuvenating properties, at least in mice, but they're still trying to figure out why. Julia has more in this video.
The researchers think this means that young blood cells secrete some molecule or protein that helps heal the body and keeps it young. And as an organism ages, they lose the ability to make this molecule.
Yay, science! So what hopes do you have for this?
Wow. Are they like, I've seen a lot of, I will say that is a conspiracy theory. That whole adrenochrome or whatever, that they scare children, and the elite, or some secret society, that they do sacrifices and they scare the children, and then they eat the children, or they drink their blood out after they kill them. And I've heard some weird stuff about the adreno conspiracy theory. But eating young blood, literally, she's saying some vampire stuff right there. That is totally vampire stuff right there. The young blood is good. And imagine a bunch of old people just lining up and just taking young blood. That's hilarious. I know. And then on that movie, Mad Max, the new one, they had blood bags or whatever, and they, I guess, to stay hydrated, they would intravenously connect you to someone else for their blood. Like, I don't know. But this is hilarious. This is funny. But she just said it was some vampire shit. She was like, yeah, the young blood helps you feel young. Like, that literally, like, that's like some conspiracy theory type of shit right there. That's like the bankers are trying to eat children or something like that.
New discovery about your brain's connection to your immune system. Let us know in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to D News.
That is dumb, guys. That is dumb. Come on. Of course the fucking human immune system's connected to the body. Something a little different. Let's see, what's going on with this stuff. It says 2 years ago. Go ahead. I just noticed it said 2 years ago. That is really far. Oh, that whole new immune system was 6 years ago. What's going on right here? I put right here, Science Daily. Here, let's update that. That's just too much. As far as, mainstream media is concerned, I have no reason to believe anything that's on mainstream media right now. There's this, we could do political science here as well. There's the Smith-Mundt Act and the SDG Media Compact. They have literally taken over all mainstream media and are using it as propaganda. And that includes the Russia side, and that includes the United States side. So I'm not gonna get involved into all that, but I will say that I don't care what any government claims they have done. I don't care if a government is like, yeah, we made it to Saturn, or if United States is like, yeah, we landed on the sun, and like, look at this picture, and they pull up in a red Ferrari up to the sun. I have no reason to believe any of that. That is just dumb shit. I mean, NORAD themselves supposedly monitor Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. So yeah, that's dumb. I'm not gonna listen to any of that. Like, look at the space. Look, come on, look. We could even go over this one. This is really funny. 2 months ago. So that's 2 months ago. Nice cartoons, bro.
If you're a fan of space exploration, 2022 is shaping up to be a don't miss year. Like, we got one mission that's been 30 years in the making, another hoping to study oceans millions of kilometers away, and also a mission headed to the moon. So at least when it comes to space, it should be a good year. First, we got the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope. In theory, the telescope already launched as early as...
Do you see how he puts his hands together like he's praying? And then he follows up with a cartoon about tin foil and gold foil and tin gold foil or whatever. It's ridiculous. How space is... All of this about going to space, and then they follow up with cartoons. I have no reason to believe any of that. That's just... This is ridiculous. And it's coming from NASA. Yes, they're a government agency. Matter of fact, they're not even American. They're not inclined for America. They're more for the United Nations. Any nation that goes beyond their borders no longer has power, sovereign power. Do you guys understand that? That's like if I leave United States and then I go into another country, I'm not a citizen anymore. I'm a citizen of America, but I'm not in America. I lose my American privileges, my American right, my citizenship. That's how that works. So when you have a bunch of people talking about they're in space, outer space, okay, they're not representing their nation. They're not representing their country. So even if that were to be true, which I really, really doubt what the United Nations is, and you're like, no, NASA's not United Nations. Yes, they are. They're part of UNUSA, the United Nations of Outer Space Affairs. So we could get in, make another video on that one soon. But let's just go on with this. And again, this is gonna be, I already could tell you, I'll predict it off the top. They're gonna show nothing but cartoons. And he's gonna sit there with his hands like praying. And he's going to try so hard to convince us because his belief is there. He's totally believing in this.
December 22nd, 2021. But we're filming this about a week before that, so we won't make any promises because this thing has been on a long and winding road to space over the last 30 years. Like, brainstorming for this telescope started in 1989. The incredible effort, more than $10 billion, and numerous delays involved in getting the Webb off the ground have been partly due to its mission. Its goals include everything from studying distant planets to teaching us how galaxies evolve to understanding when and how the earliest stars formed. These are big tasks. For instance, Webb will have to observe stars so far away that their light has taken 13.5...
Stars are like sun, like our sun, right? So this whole, like, we're made of stardust and stars, and like, come on, like, that is literally sun worship. And it's like, you're not even worshiping our own sun now. You're worshiping, like, suns everywhere now. You're looking up into the sky, you look at lights. Let's be honest, we don't know what those lights are. We're not going to go up there. We're not going to touch them. We're not going to reach them. We could stare at them, and the only reason why we could see them is because they're lit with light. That's how a telescope works. When you look through a telescope, the telescope reflects light. You don't look up and see dirt. You see light. That's what you're seeing in your that's why you could see it. Okay? So that's the evidence, and that's as far as we can say. We look up and see lights. That's the fact right there. Those are the facts. What those lights are, how they're made. We could make all kinds of, unicorns probably took dumps out there, and that's what maybe those are, unicorn shits just floating around. See what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. Not one theory or hypothesis can override the other because not one of them is proven. It's real fat. It's real easy it's real easy. So, and then it's about 13.5 billion years. Like that's exactly. So literally, Nikola Tesla said the same thing. He said that that they use numbers and mathematical equations, and while they're doing that, they lose all touch with the reality, and they start making these and they're so sure about it because the numbers in their head are telling them to, like that's Pythagoreanism. I'm sorry. So yeah, so Pythagoras led a cult, and they literally said that numbers would talk to them. Numbers would tell you things. That is a religion.
Billion years to reach us. One of the tricky things about that is that the universe is expanding. So the light from these stars stretches as
Wow. And it goes on and on. I guess in these first few videos, I'll do a lot of explaining. And the core principles of why it's important for us to challenge and to criticize everything that we're being shown by mainstream media. Like this point I hear about, they're saying the universe is expanding. I always hear that. But an expansion is relative to measurements, exactly like he said. Measurements, right? So I know if a balloon is expanding because I could relatively measure periodically the circumference or the exterior or the stretching part of the balloon. That is physics, right? That's not debunkable. Now, when they're saying that the universe is expanding, then where's the edge? You must be talking about as the universe is like a balloon, and there's an edge to it, and it's expanding like a balloon. Okay, if it's expanding like a balloon, what's beyond the edge? And they'll come up with the weirdest, they will try their hardest to babble their way out of that. They will try so hard to babble. See this cartoon right here. There's a square. All right, that's the edge of that cartoon. There's an edge on that cartoon. Beyond that edge, we see more stuff because that's how reality works. I really doubt that reality has some type of edge. I mean, I'm not into this whole. I'm not into any creationist story, including Big Bang or any creation. I don't see how energy could have been created. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Sorry, it doesn't make sense. They're literally showing on this cartoon an edge, and they keep saying about it's expanding and expanding, and then they say, yeah, no. They're like, what? Why would you? Okay, so you don't see an edge expanding. Why are you saying that it's expanding? They're like, because the galaxies are moving away from us. And then when you mention the Andromeda galaxy, they fall apart. Because according to them, the Andromeda galaxy is coming towards us. It's going to crash with us. This is all nonsensical. All of this is bullshit. It's hilarious. It's not science. It's cartoons and fairy tale and playing make believe with heavenly, celestial, sky worshipping nonsense. Is just all of this is not science.
Travels toward us, and by the time it arrives, those light waves have been stretched so much that they are no longer visible to the human eye. Instead, they are infrared light, which we experience as heat. So for the JWST to detect it, the telescope has to get away from all the other heat sources on Earth. In fact, it will have to travel 1.5 million kilometers into space. Then it will have to assemble a giant foldable mirror and a sun shield the size of a tennis court to block the heat from the sun. And if something goes wrong, it will definitely be too far away for us to fix it. Engineers have identified 344 possible places where a single failure could render the whole telescope useless. Still, if we have a working telescope once it's all over, there's an incredible amount we could learn. So, fingers crossed. Next is the European Space Agency.
Fingers crossed. I mean, he just says, like, you might as well, why use your fingers? Why not just pick up the cross? You're already hoping, you're already holding your hands like you're praying, and you're already using a cross over some make-believe sky-worshipping nonsense that cost taxpayers tons of money. How much money went into this project? Wow. They're like someone's laughing their ass off in the corner right now, counting all the money. It's hilarious. Fingers crossed, though. Keep hoping. Yeah, okay.
He's a Jupiter Icy Moons explorer, aka JUICE, which is scheduled to launch this summer or early fall if all goes well. After that, the orbiter will reach the Jupiter system around 7.5 years later.
Cool.
They'll spend some time learning about Jupiter, but the real attraction is 3 of Jupiter's moons, Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa. Specifically, what might lie beneath their icy surfaces. Over the years, we've discovered big hints that watery oceans lurk beneath their crusts. Things like possible water plumes erupting from Europa, or evidence of water vapor in Ganymede's atmosphere. And now JUICE is going to learn more by doing numerous flybys. JUICE is going to teach us about the moons in general. It'll map their surfaces, study the compositions and characteristics of their crusts, and we'll also study Ganymede's unique magnetic field and how it interacts with Jupiter. But the orbiter will also attempt to confirm whether there are liquid oceans down there and what those oceans might be like. It will even look for evidence that those oceans could harbor life. As part of that, JUICE is going to do a special scan of Europa, which is the most likely of the 3 moons to be habitable, because, among other things, its ocean might be a little warmer than the ones on Ganymede and Callisto, thanks to geologic activity under the surface. So JUICE's special scan will search for organic molecules in Europa, which are the foundation for life as we know it. Finding them wouldn't be a confirmation that we have neighbors in the Jupiter system, but it would give scientists a place to keep looking. Still, in the end, maybe we will not find life on Jupiter's moons, but with missions like this, we will learn more about what these moons are like and what it takes to have a liquid ocean that far from the sun. And finally, we've got NASA's Artemis 1, which is headed to the moon in February. This mission is a key test for future Artemis missions, which aim to put the first woman and the first person of color on the moon by 2024. After that, the goal is to establish a long-term presence on the moon and to use what we learn there to get to Mars. For now, though, Artemis 1 will not have a crew because there is a lot.
They are using political jargon for. Did you guys hear that? Why would it matter who makes it to the moon? The purpose of going to the moon would be to conduct science experiments and whatnot, to figure stuff out. Why would it matter who goes to the moon? That makes no sense. The most qualified candidate should be able to go to the moon, according to their own nonsense. That is so stupid. I keep telling you guys, this mainstream media is under direction of the United Nations, exactly like UNUSA. They're using UNUSA and the sky worshipping crap to socially engineer humans and to get them to think a certain way. They literally are trying to get people to be like, oh yeah, a woman of color and blah blah blah. That's political. That's what you're seeing. That's why Kamala Harris. That's all political. Everyone knows that they're playing that they're using they're using gender and sexual orientation and equality and that's ridiculous. It wouldn't matter who makes it to the moon as long as someone that would be qualified, the most qualified candidate. That is dumb that they keep saying that. Send Bruce Jenner.
A lot of equipment to test before astronauts get on board, including the rocket. The Artemis missions depend on NASA's Space Launch System, or SLS, which was designed to have the most thrust of any rocket ever flown, except it hasn't actually flown yet. Artemis 1 will be the first launch for SLS and the first test in combination with Orion, a spacecraft designed to carry astronauts to the moon and someday to Mars. So it's no surprise, Artemis 1 will not have a crew. For this mission, SLS will launch Orion into space, then the spacecraft will travel to the moon, get in orbit, stay long enough to be assessed by mission control, and after that, it will make its way home to test its splash landing. The whole trip will take about 3 weeks, and hopefully it will pave the way for people to study the moon up close and in person for the first time in nearly 50 years. Now, space exploration is complicated, so there's a chance that some of these missions might not go as planned. Like as I'm filming this, I still don't know what's going to happen to the James Webb Space Telescope. And even when things go perfectly, none of these missions are going to give us big results like tomorrow. Still, these are such exciting beginnings, and they have the potential to change the way we think about space travel and even the way we think about the universe. After these missions get ready for liftoff after the new year, SciShow Space News will be landing on a permanent hiatus. Still, we're going to be posting 2 episodes of SciShow Space a week to bring you the biggest stories in space news as they happen. There just won't be a news episode every week. It's been our great pleasure to bring you the latest and greatest stories from space, and we look forward to learning more with you in the new year. And as always, thank you for your support. SciShow would not be what it is without you.
Well, there it is, guys. 3 good stories. As you can see, science is not, about beliefs. That's hope and religion and sky worshiping stuff. Anyways, I'm out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.